Carver and Cuthbert here with you. Go Sports Radio. Coming at you on a Thursday. First Thursday in November. Because I never remember the actual date. Like yesterday I said the first Wednesday in November. Today I say the first Thursday in November. And we are here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. As always, great to be here. A beautiful Long Beach day out on Long Island. As we get ready for the weekend here. A lot to discuss. NFL Week 10, college football, hockey, tons of things on the docket. Mike Carver here with you, as I said, along with Paul Cuthbert. Hi, Paul. How are you?
What's going on, buddy?
Going good. Good to be back here. We had fun yesterday, first show, and now we're back here today. And I think I have to start this way today, Paul. And listen, come down to Borrelli's, hang out with us. We'll be here for the next 90 minutes. We'll be here every Wednesday and Thursday, as always. I got to start here. Did you know there was a big win in New York sports last night?
No way.
Did you know that? We spent yesterday talking about who's the next team in New York sports. It's going to wear. Who's the next team going to do this? Big win in New York sports last night, Paulie. Did you know that?
I know who won last night, but I don't know if it's the same team.
A team
you're thinking about.
A team in New York sports who, believe it or not, was the only team in their league that had not had a win yet this season. And they got a win last night.
Who was it?
The Brooklyn Nets got off the deck last night in Indiana with a big win on the road, 112-103. How about that? Nets to open the show today.
You know what's terrible about that is that
Nets to open the show.
What's terrible about that? I'm thinking of all the,
Sure.
Obviously the Knicks won last night.
Yeah,
one of the only teams at the Garden who can win at home.
That's right.
And I didn't even think or consider the Brooklyn Nets.
No one ever does, so you don't have to worry about it.
Is that wrong?
No one ever does.
Do we have any Brooklyn Net fans here from
tell
the
us.
show? Please let us know.
Tell us in the chat. Chat's open.
We don't want to be disrespectful.
We can, I don't mind being disrespectful. But yes, and it's funny because I was talking about this with my partner on the Bet River Show, Doug Kazarian, yesterday, that we were kind of looking at the Net game last night. I'm going, man, if the Nets don't win tonight, because the Pacers are going to have a bad year. They went to the finals last year, Paul. They don't have Halliburton. They don't have, the Pacers were off to a bad start as well. You lose to the Nets, you're off to an even worse start. But I was saying to him last night on the show, I go, man, if the Nets don't win tonight, they've got like the Knicks, Boston, Toronto, they had like a bunch of games that there was no chance they were going to win. So the Nets and Fernandez getting off the schneid, nice job. And as you mentioned, the Knicks, 137-114 beat the Timberwolves at the Garden last night. And Anunoby had 25. Brunson had a good game. Nice job by the Knicks at home against a couple of their old friends. So there was some wins in New York sports for you last night. It does happen.
It's very early in the season, obviously, but we'll take them right now. And fair play to the Brooklyn Nets. And again, I'm sorry, I couldn't even tell you who's on the starting lineup, and that's just a shame. And for our Brooklyn Net fans out
there, funny
part,
part, they lost.
I'll work on that a little bit. I forgot that they are actually a part of the New York sports.
They got
array of teams here.
They lost one of their best. Cam Thomas, one of their better players, left the game in the first quarter. He got injured. Michael Porter Jr. had 32 for them last night. So they had, he got him from the Nuggets in the offseason in the Johnson trade. So he's kind of one of their better players, and good for the Nets getting a win. So we have to Joe, Paul, you got to celebrate the small victories when they happen. So we give that to the Nets last night in that spot. We'll try to get a little hoops later because we do have some other local stuff to talk about. Huge St. John's game on Saturday at the Garden against Alabama. So we're going to get into that. And we're also going to tell you should come down. If you can't get to the Garden, you should come to Borrelli's Taproom here in Long Beach because they're going to have you rocking too. We're going to do NFL Week 10. Jets home for what could be a miserable, man. If you're going to MetLife on Sunday, I feel bad for you. It's going to be.
How about if you have to go to MetLife for anything, even concerts?
Really for anything? Again, you sometimes open the door to conversations that what a miserable place to go to, especially if you live on Long Island. It's such an awful place. Well, I don't care if you're a Jet fan, a Giant fan, a concert fan, a soccer fan, any fan of anything that goes on in MetLife, Paulie. Trying to go to from Long Island is torture. It's absolute torture.
I mean, especially even when you see our favorite artists are coming in, it's like, oh, they're playing MetLife. It's like, please play UBS. Please play the Garden.
I know. They're
playing MetLife.
Stadiums.
I'm not going to that one.
I get stadiums, Paulie. Yeah, go to the big.
I thought I saw something yesterday about the Jets possibly pulling out of their lease over there. Or
Well, they
maybe
would.
the possibility of seeking their own
They
stadium.
would. They would love that, but I don't know. You know, they tried. Of course, in Manhattan and the West Side and all, and then it just never.
I don't know.
That's
Cohen's
never-
building
never
a casino. He's got a soccer stadium. He's
Yeah.
got a City Field over there. Why not throw a football stadium right in there in Flushing? People of Flushing must love it.
Well, that's right.
traffic,
They're
the
building all
commute.
that. They've got big complex. They took down all the scrap yards. They're going to try, they build everything there. Why not? Like you said, might as well stuff a football stadium in there
Shove
too.
it right in there.
Shove it in there. That would be the biggest thing that they would have to put there, but you could shove a football.
And how about an
stadium in there.
AHL hockey team? Long Island Queens could use that. Or do we have one already in Uniondale?
Well,
I mean, Elmont's.
Elmont now. But the funny part
I went
was
to Uniondale because that's where the Coliseum
the
is.
funny part is that I think people thought when the Islanders moved to UBS that the Les Tigres de Sound, or now whatever they call themselves now in
Really?
Bridgeport.
Did
I
you
think
just go
people-
French? on
I
the Sound
thought
Tigers?
I thought that they would eventually move them. A lot of people thought they would eventually move the AHL team to the Nassau Coliseum. That, of course, never happened. Isn't going to happen. Aren't they putting them somewhere out in Suffolk? Aren't they building a rink in Suffolk that they could potentially? Oh no,
There have been so
they're
many
moving to
plans
Canada.
for-
The Islanders AHL team moving to Canada. So
I got a question later about moving, so
Yeah.
we'll save that for
okay,
later in
we'll
the
save
show.
that for later on.
Hey, real quick, just want to thank everybody for tuning in
Yes.
yesterday. It was really cool. We got some great feedback, and for the first time people checking us out, we really thank you guys enough. We really appreciate it. It was really cool. Like I said, me and Mike haven't done this for a while together, and we're excited about it. I'm even more. I couldn't wait to get back here today. Just getting off the schneid and stuff. So thanks so much. I want to shout out real quick to Costa up in Montreal who checked in.
Oh, how about that?
Our old friend from Montreal.
That's good.
Puck Talk. So
That's
check
great.
him out. He's got, I think it's Puck Talk Montreal now. He flipped it around or something like that.
Okay. That's
maybe
awesome to hear.
We'll talk some Habs maybe later and maybe down the road with Costa
Yeah,
you
why
know,
not?
because they're playing
Sure.
pretty good up there in Montreal.
They're actually playing the Devils tonight at the Rock,
What a
and
matchup.
that is actually you could say the two best teams in the East so far. A couple
So
weeks
far.
into the season, but they look like the two best teams in the East, at least how they've gotten out. Devils are 5-0 at home as they get ready for tonight. Montreal's played very good on the road, played very good all over. So really good.
Marty St. Louis has done a pretty damn good job up there.
Really good game at the Rock tonight between the Devils and the Canadians.
Are you going to watch it?
I might, because there's,
See, that's the problem with NHL. Not a lot of people watch, buddy.
well, look, there's a lot of things going on. And as you know, I have to try to wear many hats on a nightly basis of things that I'm checking in on. I've got obviously, now look, Raiders Broncos tonight, Thursday Night Football, Week 10. I've got, but really, there's going to be a lot of hockey for me tonight, too. So there's, I believe, 10 or 11 games on the schedule. The Devils are the only local that's playing tonight. So that's an easy, maybe the Devils can get up 4-1, 5-1 before I flip to the football game, because I do like the Devils tonight in more ways than one. Let's just put it that way. I like the Devils in more ways than one.
Playing good. Keeper's doing a good job back there behind the bench, and
Right.
we'll talk some more hockey a little later on.
We certainly will. All right. Why don't we start things off? Because I know you wanted to do this yesterday. We didn't get to it yesterday. I wanted to do it too. And we're going to go through all the games in Week 10 of the NFL. But I had college football booked towards the end of yesterday's show. We never got to it. So I think we just do this because this is a big week. We've hit November. They had the first dopey, all the suits with the college football playoff rankings. They sit up there and they tell you who's the best and who's not. Meanwhile, the only one that matters is the last one, Paulie. Remember that. The last one's the only one that matters. They could tell you that this team's number 7, and Notre Dame's number 10, and this, whatever. The last one's the only one that makes a difference. So people get very wrapped up in the college football playoff rankings, but at the end of the day, these first couple, they don't mean anything. It means zero at all.
But I think it's great from a guy who's recently just gotten back into watching a lot of college football the last couple of years and enjoying the games, and then tying that in. And this is just me. Like I said, I've been more of a baseball and a hockey guy over the years.
Right.
Always loved football. I watch football every year. I think football playoffs are the best. Everything right before the Super Bowl are some of the best, football games you'll ever get. There's nothing better than playoff baseball. I mean, playoff football than maybe playoff baseball and maybe playoff hockey. But they're all good. We get to watch it. But I think these, the CFB playoffs, the new championship, how it's, laid out more. I think for fans of leagues who follow standings and follow teams that are, looking for an opportunity to get into a playoffs, it's I don't know. I think the vision is better
Well,
for maybe the average fan, because now you start, putting numbers with everything, and how it's being presented and produced, probably a little too much overhyped. But I guess it's what, the sports networks have to do, and the NCAA have to do it. But I'll tell you this much, it's working, because I think for me, I've become more of a fan of college football because of this whole new system.
Correct.
And the rankings, and of course the playoff setup. So I love it.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a made for television event.
Yes.
Is what it is. The history and tradition of college football is gone. Now that stuff, it really is. It's out. The days of great rivalries and regional rivalry, like this stuff is all you got.
You think
completely? Oh yeah. I mean, we now have. I mean, the Big Ten stretches from Southern California to Piscataway, New Jersey. And College Park, Maryland. The ACC now stretches. The ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, now stretches from Miami, Florida, all the way to Palo Alto, California. So it's changed a lot. I always wanted them to have more teams in the playoff. I didn't like 4 teams. Even though most years with the 4, you got the right winner because the teams were so strong. There's a little bit more of a parity now and a little bit more. I'm not going to say anyone can win, because I still think it's probably only 4 or 5 teams that can win. But having those extra games and those big games and those big moments, like last year, you had that Friday night Notre Dame game against Indiana. You had the triple header the next day. You get these extra games of importance. That's cool.
Michigan, Ohio State last year was out of control.
Was a big game. And look, at the end of the day, this is what bothers people about tradition also now. At the end of the day, the game didn't mean anything. Ohio State lost the game, still went in the playoff, still won the national championship. Whereas in years past, losing a game like that ruin your season and you don't make the playoffs. So it's
on that side, I think that game for Ohio State, I mean, they went on a mission after that. I mean, they didn't lose a damn thing.
No, they were unbelievable.
They fired them up. I mean, that's when Michigan.
Now they've lost to
them. I
think it's 4 years in a row now. 3 or 4 years in a row they've lost to Michigan. So,
but that is a big rivalry.
It is. You can say.
Yeah.
I don't think people would argue with me at the biggest rivalry in college football.
Who's Notre Dame's biggest rivalry?
I think that because they still play them on a yearly basis, unlike Michigan and unlike Michigan State, I think it's USC, but even that's going to end now.
USC has a lot of problems.
And that's going to end too, because that deal is up and not being extended. So the one thing with Notre Dame now, and people bellyache, why aren't they in a conference and why aren't they doing this? Unfortunately, because of the structure of all these super conferences, Paulie, the Notre Dame usually, they played Michigan every year. They played Michigan State every year. They played USC and Stanford every year. They play, that stuff. These teams now have to take those games away because they're playing 9 conference games and they're playing, and they don't want to play. Some of these teams are scared to play an out-of-conference game against a team like Notre Dame. So a lot of people, if you know how Notre Dame is, you either love them or you hate them. And the people that hate them are going to find the reasons to poke at them. And the people that love them are going to be able to defend them, like me, and say their schedule is not any easier than anybody else's. Or I know they don't play in a conference. They have to play 6 ACC games every year. That's part of their 12.
Mm-hmm.
But they try to schedule. I mean, they just booked again. Like, they got home and homes coming up in the next 5 to 7 years with Alabama. They just signed one with Auburn yesterday. Just signed, they have one, I believe, with Texas as well in the next few years. Notre Dame doesn't duck anybody. Don't duck anybody. As long as the money's there for them to play somebody, they're going to play. They played Texas A&M and Miami the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Lost both of those games, and yet they're still sitting here with a chance to win the rest of their games, and they're going to be in. And they will be in if they win the rest of their games. As much as it bothers people, they will be in if they win the rest of them.
Winning in. So lots of great games this weekend. Obviously, as we're moving closer and closer, like you brought up yesterday, how fast the NFL season's going. It's flying here in college football as well, too. And things start off tonight and tomorrow.
Yes. Well, tonight you have a couple of games, and USF is the team that's playing tonight. Now, you know how, Paulie, they give a group of 5 team or one of the 5th conference champion a slot in this playoff. Last year was Boise State. They got in, but they were an 11-1 team. They were ranked. Right now, none of these group of 5 teams are ranked in this first dopey college football playoff ranking. Memphis would have the spot right now, but there's still a lot of games. I mean, Memphis is playing a huge game tomorrow night against Tulane, and that's going to go to this determined. USF has to keep winning as they play the the Roadrunners tonight of UTSA at home in Tampa. So this Tulane-Memphis game big. North Texas is still in the mix for this. I think San Diego State in the Mountain West is still in the mix for this. So these games, while they're not Georgia, Alabama on the surface or Michigan, Ohio State, they are going to play a role in determining who is going to be that team, that 12th team in the playoff that maybe gets smashed in the first round. That's kind of because now there is no automatic. Last year it was different. The top 4 conference champions got the bye. They got rid of that because it was kind of silly and made the matchups a little uneven. That's gone now. Whoever this team is, the Memphis, the Tulane, the USF, they're going to be the 12, and they're going to play the 5 in the first round. Like this week's, it's Georgia against Memphis, and that's a tough trip for Memphis to make if they have to go to Georgia. But tomorrow night, Paulie, this Tulane-Memphis game is a big game at the Liberty Bell. I like Memphis in the game. Tulane lost last week. They need to get back on the horse, but I just think Memphis is a little better than them. Here's the one problem for Memphis. The talk is that the coach is going to take the Arkansas job at the end of the season. So
that's a lot of college football head coaching jobs open.
There's a ton, and not just a ton of jobs, Paulie. Enormous jobs are open. Enormous. Penn State, LSU, Florida, Arkansas. There's big brand name jobs that are open. Virginia Tech, even on the lower. There's a lot of this is how it is. This is what I'm talking about. Now college it's business now.
Oh,
it's just business.
Huge.
In and out with these.
And real quick on the business side of things, just looking over the schedule here.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all ESPN.
Well, sure.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Sure.
And I don't know where that ESPN YouTube contract thing is right now. And it's been a big news story here in the last couple of days. But I just didn't when you see it in front of you and you see ESPN, there's a couple of ABCs here and stuff like that. But man, almost like every game is on an ESPN or an ABC.
Sure. And
platform.
they have obviously the biggest reach with all this stuff. And Fox is big now in college football as well. But that's pretty much where all the games are. I mean, but that also ties in, Paulie, to this college football playoff being a television event.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, whether people like it or not, they're going to get in. People, they try to sell you that brand recognition it's about resume and it's about who you beat on the field and it's about all these things.
Well, what you just said there, who you beat on the field. The other thing too that has spiked here in the last couple of years is when an unranked university beats a ranked team and then they're charging the field.
Yeah.
And the goalposts are coming down. So even those underdog games are now intensified as well too, because the interest is there. And if anybody gets closer, takes somebody out.
Yep.
It's great TV.
Yeah.
It's great media.
Now, the biggest game this week on the card is BYU visiting Texas Tech. That's a noon East kick on Saturday. These are the top 2 teams right now in the Big 12. Both of them are in the top 12 of this week's college football playoff ranking. BYU is undefeated. They've played very well. Texas Tech is probably the best team in the Big 12 this year. They have a really good offense, score lots of points. This is a big number. They're 10-point favorites over BYU. BYU's been, I think everybody's been doubting BYU all year, Paulie, and every time that they have a chance to kind of, fall off. People like this Utah game a few weeks ago. I was on them. They beat Utah. They went to Iowa State. They were dogs. People thought they ended up winning at Iowa State. They've kind of beat the challenge every time it's been put in front of them. Now, I don't know if they're going to win. This is the toughest one they're going to have so far this season. I don't think they're going to win this game, but when you talk about it from a gambling perspective, I don't think they're going to get blown out by 10+ points either. They've shown me a little bit too much this year, BYU, in these spots. So that's a really big game on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and Texas Tech as well here too. That's the whole big point of this too. Is the rankings keeping your standings here? And I want to ask you, getting back to the scheduling, and I think that's something for maybe not a diehard college fan here too, as well, is when you see certain teams, high ranked teams or more popular universities playing lower talented squads and stuff like that. How does that play into this whole thing? And do you think it's evenly distributed amongst the top ranked teams?
No. This is what I would do if I was running college football, and they'll never let me run college football.
You never know.
If I was running college football,
like I said, they're changing a lot of positions.
Everyone would play 9 games in their conference, Everyone would then play 2 games against another. If you're a Power 4 conference team, you have to play 2 games against teams in the other 3 power conferences. And then you can have your last game be like this week, Ole Miss is playing the Citadel. And these SEC teams all do it. It's no one does it more than the other. In November, they all get a bye game where they get to smash somebody and basically like take a week off. Fine and all good. The SEC schedule is very tough. They play tough schedules all year. They get a little breather in November. They get to pound the Citadel. I'm sure Alabama's going to pound, Nassau Community College, whoever they're going to play at any point. I would have everyone, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC. You play 9 conference games. You play 2 games, home and away against 2 teams from the 3 other big conferences. And then that last 12th game, go ahead and play, Tram-Tamic Tech or whoever you want to, play in that last one. That's how I would do it. The way a lot of these teams do it now, Paulie, is they play their 9 conference games. I'll use Indiana as the example because they got a lot of flack for it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana plays their 9 Big 10 games, and then their other 3 games are complete smash jobs at home against nobodies. So and their coach Kurt Signetti says that's because I've got 9 really tough games in conference I got to play. Why am I going to go and give myself a chance to lose one of these 3 games outside of it?
And forgive me for not knowing this. Does college do similar stuff as like even in high school where they have the homecoming game or whatever? And
sure,
usually they're pretty much set up against a team they can smash. So
well, it's harder to do that because most of them have their homecomings in October, November, and you're playing conference games at that point. You're going to have someone coming in who's someone you're either a rival or someone you play on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
A little harder now because, like I said, there's 16, 18 teams in these conferences now. You don't see everybody every year like you used to when there was only 10 teams in a conference and you played the same 9 teams home and away. It's a little bit different. So college has changed a lot, Paulie, in that aspect. So.
And you see anything changing for you? Like, what's your thoughts on Alabama here last couple of weeks?
Well,
just in terms of the top 4 here, obviously we talked about BYU and Texas Tech, Indiana at 2 here, Georgia at 5.
Right.
Ohio State, I guess, probably has a layup here against Purdue this weekend.
I think that a lot of these are, and you look at this week in college, there's a lot of, you never like to say layup, but there's a lot of spots here. Now, Ohio State's not going to have a problem on the road in Purdue. Penn State is kind of a shell of themselves. They fired Franklin. They've lost the starting quarterback. They've lost Aller. They've lost. Indiana's been smashing teams. They shouldn't have a problem going into Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, LSU is a little different. You have a major rivalry and a team playing its first game after firing the coach, and they're off a bye. Do you get a little something different from LSU on Saturday night in this game? You might. Enough that Alabama loses at home? No, I don't think so. Enough that LSU makes them sweat a little bit? Maybe. I think it's possible.
So Bama's licking their chops there for that game.
They are, but you got to be careful because LSU, even though they've had a bad year and they fired Kelly, they have players.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful with some of those things when you do it. But the one game, Paulie, I'll give you, and I don't think this team will lose in this spot. Georgia's going to Mississippi State on Saturday. Mississippi State last week won their first SEC game in years. I'm not kidding around. Years. 2 years.
Congratulations.
And this Lebby, who the guy, they've finally been building some things up, and they're getting some things going. Mississippi State, in the gambling world, 8-1 against the spread this year. One of the best in college football. This is an 8.5 number. Georgia last week played a tough game, rivalry game against Florida. A neutral site game, of course, in Jacksonville, the world's largest cocktail party. Next week, they are playing Texas at home.
Okay.
Huge game. Little sandwich game here. So they play Houston, and then they got to go to Starksville and play Mississippi State this week. That's going to be a problem for Georgia on Saturday. They're going to win, Paulie, but they're going to be a little tougher, as Lee Corso used to say, closer than the experts think, right there in that one, Georgia and Mississippi State this week. So,
and as far as I know we got a couple of headline stories here, and it's
we got a lot of Notre Dame fans around here too.
Well,
don't forget that.
So before I ask you my question, let's talk about Notre Dame here a little bit and your thoughts on the squad here. And Navy's always a good game for Notre Dame as far as
it shouldn't be.
I know, but I'm saying rivalry wise, and it's a game I think everybody kind of looks forward to.
Everyone looks forward to it. It's always a fun game. Did you know? Believe it or not, and Navy's not having a bad year. They're 7-1, And they're kind of in the mix with these Memphis, Tulane, South Florida, North Texas teams that if they ever beat Notre Dame on Saturday.
So not necessarily a layup this week.
You might say that, but then I would counter by telling you, believe it or not, this is the biggest spread in a Notre Dame Navy game. I think I was reading, if not ever, in the top 3 times. And they played every year forever. 25.5 is the spread. And that's the biggest ever between Notre
So how
Dame
you
and
betting,
Navy.
Mike? How you going? What you leaning there? You going against your dogs or what?
I would not trust Notre Dame at home to lay 25.5 against anybody.
Okay.
Especially a team that, Paulie, can keep the ball out of their hands. Now, is Navy going to be able to stop Notre Dame's offense? No, they're not. Notre Dame's going to be able to score. Will Navy have long drives that keeps Notre Dame offense off the field and ends in points? Long drives that end in points. If Navy has those, they're going to make Notre Dame sweat on Saturday night. It's under the lights, too. Under the lights in South Bend, too, which I don't like. I like the traditional afternoon game in South Bend. I don't really love the night games there.
Buddy,
but
Saturday's
again,
a pretty damn good sports day with the Rangers and the Islanders,
it's
and
a great
St.
sports
John's,
day.
and Notre Dame, all college
it's
football.
a great sports day
Whew.
on Saturday.
I'm off. I'm off on
it's-
Saturday,
Oh,
buddy,
let it
so-
fly.
All right.
Got a big day. Come down. You know where you could go?
Is there anything else you want to touch on here as far as the weekend's going? Because I just had a quick question on, just as far as the gambling and the
Sure.
betting and everything else, and where the trends are as far as more than anything. I'll ask this in terms of the spike. Do you get to see, because I know you do this a lot in your other shows too, do you get to see where the spikes are as far as which sport or which this people trending more to gamble on? Obviously the NFL, and I would say college football
NFL and college football will always be king when it comes to betting. Especially the NFL. The NFL will always be king, and college football will always be right there behind it.
Is it harder to gamble on one than the other as far as college and NFL?
The
Obviously.
NFL is the hardest thing to gamble on in a while. There's nothing tougher than the NFL.
Is it easier because there's just but is it easier just in terms of there's so many teams in college that you can just pick a whole bunch and see what the hell happens, or and because the NFL is more narrowed down because it's a small amount of teams.
There's a smaller amount of teams, and the other thing you can factor in is I know that the rosters turn over a little bit more, but for the most part, your main guys aren't changing year to year. Your quarterback, your big defensive tackle, your lineman, you can build data over years of, I keep going back to the Lions with you for some reason, Campbell, Goff, and all their off, you could build, okay, well, what have they done against this team? They've played this team so many times. College now is so tough because every year, this is football and basketball now, 75% of the roster is different. I mean, even take Indiana, for example. Indiana last year had their first big year in forever, and they still changed over a ton of the team and got even better this year. It's hard to go back to, I feel now in college, year by year, like going back to past Indiana Penn State games. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just because the teams are so different now, going year in and year out. Yes, the coaches maybe are the same, and there's some things there that you can look at. But Paulie, I'll tell you, the NFL is the toughest to play.
Cream of the
It's the
top.
toughest because the lines are right. They're like you can find some lines in college where you're like, all right, that's not right. There's something wrong. The NFL almost never.
Yeah.
Like Vegas knows.
All right, well,
Vegas knows when it
Vegas
comes to
knows.
that. Now I will, as we go to, you're going to talk a little bit about Borrelli's here.
yes.
And as I send that to you, you said you're off on Saturday.
Yes.
And it seems like if there was ever a place that you wanted to go on Saturday to do all of these things that you're talking about, and so many things are on, it's Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. I mean, that's got to be where you want to be for all those things.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, 12 o'clock here is the St. John's watch party.
I saw that.
So
I did see that
and they got. I mean, let's just run through what's going on here at Borrelli's on Saturday. I mean, if you're into day drinking, I mean, it's a place to be.
I am. You can get me
buckets of Miller Lights for $20.
Yes.
There you go.
I'll take one.
25 Michelob Ultra buckets.
I'll take one.
All right. You got $30 of the Lucky One lemonade buckets.
I haven't had those. I'll have to try those.
All right, and
Oh,
everybody's favorite, the Surfside buckets, $35, baby,
surf's up.
right here. And
Let's do it.
of course, all the great food and the great menu options here.
So I can get a surf's up, $35 Surfside bucket, a one of the vodka pie pizzas, and watch Alabama St. John's.
and you can text me to send you an Uber.
Oh, well, that would be, so of course. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that's, you get the Iron Horse too. I just got to get over the train. I get the Iron Horse
There you
back
go.
up to
There you go.
civilization
Now,
also.
explain to everybody who's not from Long Island what an Iron Horse
The
is.
Long Island Railroad is the Iron Horse. Yes, the Iron Horse back to civilization. What else?
And for anybody in Manhattan, you can take the Iron Horse right down here to
right-
Long Beach.
Right to Long Beach.
Quick little cab ride.
And you come right on over.
Hang on here.
And you're there.
Hang
Short
on here,
Uber
bro.
ride.
So real quick, some other great stuff going on here at Borrelli's. They have, besides the great food and the sports games and all the TVs here and the great specials, we also have comedy nights, pasta making classes, and live music. And this weekend on Friday night, it's Tommy's birthday. Tommy's here. Tommy's one of the main guys here at Borrelli's, and he's having a little birthday party here tomorrow night, and there's going to be live music. Let's see here what's going on here at the live music on. I have it written down here.
Dirty
There
Rockers.
There it is. No, hold on.
yeah.
No, this is
Oh, yes.
Saturday night. So after all the sports here, right?
Right.
You got Sean Jacoby coming in at 7:00, and then you have Lavish Life playing at 10.
Beauty.
And then again, that's for Tommy's birthday coming up here this weekend. And then some great stuff going on as far as other entertainment. Billy Joel night, theme night here on Tuesday, November 11th. Come in for $21 dinner specials and half off of all wine bottles. So it's always a great night here. And if you're a big Billy Joel fan, really good atmosphere in here for that. So it's songs from an Italian restaurant here at Borrelli's next Tuesday. Next Friday, if you like dub, ska, reggae, the Dirty Rockers are going to be here. Free show, 9 p.m., playing the best of Stick Figure and 311 and Sugar Ray and Real Big Fish, Sublime, Dirty Heads. So it's good show, great live entertainment here. So come on down for that. And for comedy, and there's more stuff we'll talk about later on, but wrap this segment up here. Next Wednesday on the 19th is Colin Quinn.
Yes.
And I'm going to be here for that. I've already got my
Legend.
tickets. Yes. So, and then Dev Bishop is coming in here as well in December too. So there's more stuff we'll talk about what's going on in Borrelli's. That's just a little taste of it. So make sure you get down here.
Loved Colin Quinn.
And check out Borrelli'sTaproom.com for more information and reservations.
Got the Ohio State hat on over here too in Borrelli's today. The Ohio State hat on as they are going to beat Purdue by about 50 on Saturday. They're going to lay it on Purdue on their way. Hey, get ready. Michigan in a couple weeks. That's what matters.
Yep.
Michigan got to finally beat them. See, this is why you come down to Borrelli's Taproom while we're doing the show. You get involved with everybody here. All right, Paulie, nice job there getting us ready. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. First Thursday in November, which is the 6th. See, I finally got the date. The 6th is what it is.
Get yourself a good night's sleep.
for us.
Just change your life a little bit.
It will change your life a little bit. All right, NFL Week 10 coming up. Starting tonight, actually, Paulie. Broncos Raiders in Denver. Now, Coach Carroll's Raiders. Now, Denver's been good this year, 7-2. Raiders not so good. Actually played well at home last week to Jacksonville. Lost in overtime. They went for 2 and for the win, which I do respect. I like when teams do that. But a tough one tonight. Big spread. It's been hanging around 9.5 as well for this game. This is a Thursday night prime video game, so you can watch Al Michaels go ahead and do the game. Broncos have played really well so far this year, Paulie. But this might be a little too much for them tonight, actually. I think the Raiders can maybe not win. But this is one of these games where I could see Broncos up 17 points. And
you saw what happened with the Giants there a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
As far as the first part of the game.
Right.
They were awful.
And what's changed for the Raiders also this past week is they got Bowers back. Now, this kid Bowers is an animal. This Brock Bowers, a tight end. He was really hurt for the first 7-8 weeks of the season. Come back off the bye. He was healthy last week. He had 3 touchdowns in the game. He had a huge night. Now, Denver's got a good defense. Going to be tough on them. I think Denver wins tonight, Paulie, but closer than the experts think, maybe with the Raiders this evening.
No, I'm going with you. I'm leaning with Denver on that game.
Denver for that game. Thursday Night Football, week number 10, to get us going. All right, let's do the locals for this weekend.
Do we have to?
Unfortunately, we do. And the Jets are, you know what?
Not so much Western New York, but locally as far as
Local here, local where we are. And why don't we start, because we opened yesterday with the Jets and all the moves that they made at the deadline. Not going to have, of course, Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams evermore. Those guys are out the door. Now, this is what I always like to call, Paulie, Cleveland Browns at New York Jets. MetLife, 1 o'clock East kick Sunday. You're into November. Both teams are awful. The weather is supposed to be miserable. Cold, rainy, and windy in New York on Sunday.
bring the family.
I call this a friends and family game. And when I say this, whenever I say this in any sport, a friends and family game is the only people that should be in the stands are friends and family. And that's it. How many would go to this game?
I know.
I'm not sure. It's not like you got the Bills coming in. You can watch Josh Allen play. It's not like you got Kansas City coming in Mahomes. It's the Browns and the Jets. And both teams are awful.
What if you got a suite? It was free and a limo.
Sweet,
See,
free.
you're even thinking
So,
about it. That's awful.
And now
that
here's
shows you how
why.
awful the situation
Because
is.
it's so miserable to go there and come home. But you're right. In the limo, I guess it wouldn't be too bad. If you're sitting outside MetLife for 2 hours trying to get home,
I got a limo.
at least you're in the
for you,
limo.
A suite,
Is there a bucket of beer in the limo?
of course.
Okay. Is there like a tray of wings for the ride home too? Does that, or can I bring the tray of wings from the suite back out to the limo to wait in the parking lot for 2
You'll
hours?
have to ask the staff. I'm not sure.
I'll have to ask the staff for that one. This is a friends and family game. Both teams are awful.
Got to pick somebody.
Believe it or not,
No, don't say it.
I think the Jets are going to win on Sunday.
Who's starting a QB for Cleveland?
Well, for Cleveland, it's going to be Gabriel again.
All right.
And they have Judkins has shown a lot at running back things. And here's the one thing about Cleveland. Their defense has been very good. Defense has been good. I think you get out of nowhere, Jets rise up, win some ugly 13-10 game against the Browns at home on Sunday.
I 100% completely disagree with you. And
Okay,
I'll take the Browns. I'll take the Browns.
These are not two teams that you like backing no matter who you are.
with
These
a
are
center who has no arms.
These are not teams that you normally want to back. Let's just start by saying that. So I'm on the Jets. I think the Jets are going to beat the Browns at home on Sunday. Sick as that sounds. I do think they're going to do that. I do think Fields will play. I know that Aaron Glenn wants to try to competitive advantage, not tell you who's going to play at quarterback this week. But
will he be dancing down the sidelines? That's
it's hard to not play the quarterback that you finally just won a game with. You're coming off a win and a bye. Yes, you traded away your defensive player, but you got to play the guy that just won you the game. And they scored a lot of points in that game against Cincinnati. They got, the offense showed you a little something. Now Cincinnati's the worst defense in the NFL. Now you're playing, despite how bad the Browns are, a top half of the league defense. But I still think he's going to go to Fields. And the Giants, on the other hand, will hit the road to Chicago, where they will play the Bears. Also, 1 o'clock East kick. And also, Paulie, both the locals going to be dealing with elements this week. High winds, rain, and I even saw, yes, I know you don't like hearing it this early in the year, snow, potentially, in Chicago on Sunday.
When I think of Chicago Stadium, I always think, Soldier Field, I should say, I always think of snow. Some of the best old games have been there. It's usually snow and all that stuff. So I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised.
It gets a little colder out in the Midwest before it gets as cold as it gets out here. So I think that's fun. I guess the question is here. There's no real question. I think we talked about it yesterday as far as tuning in as Giants fans, just to see how Dart does and to see if the defense can improve at least a little bit.
Right.
So if all those weather conditions are in there and Jackson hasn't played in a poor weather condition game yet,
Sure.
This will be fun to watch. I'm tuning in to see how the kid does. And I'm
well, you're tuning in either way, like we said yesterday.
And I'm going to
something to watch.
I'm going to take the Giants
now.
this weekend.
To win the game?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win the game.
All right.
You could talk me into a point spread if we were talking about that, because it's up to 4.5 now. It was 3.5 early in the week. It's at 4.5. You could talk me into a point spread in what could be an ugly game. Bears will win. The Bears have started to become somewhat competent. They're 5-3 now.
Good coach.
Now,
fired up.
In big picture wise, I still think that the Bears have to beat someone big to get me on their bandwagon here, which unfortunately, They play the Giants this week. Then they're at Minnesota. Then they play the Steelers. They play the Eagles on Black Friday. That's a game, Paulie, that I'm kind of circling. I want to see how the Bears play that game in Philly, and then they play the Packers the week after. But this week at home against the Giants, I think the Bears will take care of business.
Well, the Bears got to have this game. This division.
Well,
is
if you're
so tight
serious,
right now.
if you're serious, then you have to,
Packers coming up. The Bears have to have this game.
Sure.
There's no doubt about it. And I would
you can't lose at home to
nothing
the
more.
Giants. Not the way the Giants have been playing. You can't lose at home to them.
Agree.
Can't. So it's.
But
you got your Giant hat on today too. Look at you.
The Giants for the upset.
Your Giant hat on.
Some positive stuff this week.
Hey, Giant hat on.
I know. Shiny and blue.
It is shiny and blue. Wearing it with pride.
As soon as Jackson
nice
Scatteroo and Abdul Carter was drafted, I went right out.
Went right to the Giant
got
hat.
The brand new,
All
clean.
Right. Bears for me. Bears
All
will
right.
beat the Giants on Sunday there in Chicago. One of my favorites, early morning, 9:30 a.m. kick in Berlin for the Falcons and the Colts.
I don't think you're having tea and biscuits to watch this game, are you?
No. Well, I told. Did I tell you about this yesterday? I hate the
you
Euro.
hate them,
I hate the European games. I can't stand it. I don't mind the time. I don't mind the 9:30 a.m. Kick. I mind that the games suck. That's what I mind, is that the games aren't good. And that's what bothers me about these games over in Europe, which usually used to be London. Now we're in Berlin, and next week we're in Madrid. Could we get a game in? When are we going to?
It'll happen in Saudi Arabia soon enough.
Oh, it's going to. They will absolutely play there. Could we get a? We go to Australia, Paulie. Could we get a game? They played a preseason game. Could we go to Tokyo? Could we go where else could we go here around the world for more NFL games? I mean, they 2 years in a row now in Brazil to start the year in week number 1.
So the story of two different teams here as far as records are concerned with the Falcons and the Colts. So talk about Jones and the Colts and this team. And obviously their owner is very famous as well, too. She's on the sidelines.
She's on the sideline, and I
taking
love
notes and everything.
I love what she's doing.
They're 7-2, buddy. Something's working.
Something's working. Falcons are 3-5. I'm still not completely bought in and a believer. Last week was the first week I went and kind of backed them. And
7-2. You can't believe in the Colts.
I can't, because I've seen, this happens from year to year, Paul. You get these teams that are surprises.
Titans are no good. The Texans are no good.
Well, they're going to win their division. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to do it. But they're one of those teams that, depending on the matchup, they're going to lose their first game in the playoffs. Well, they play a top end guy. They play an Allen or a Mahomes or somebody like that in the first round, which is possible. And then I think they're going to be in trouble. I don't believe in them. Big picture, I think they're going to win this division's. I mean, the Jags are only 2 games back of them.
So you have no faith in the Falcons. We're both going to take the Colts this game.
I don't do on anything to do with the London game. I think that the Falcons are going to win.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to take the Falcons.
So that's your all right.
I hate these. I hate the European games.
So you hate the games. So you're going to go against.
I'm going after them because I've been going after them all year. Last week I backed them and they went. So I can't win with Indianapolis. So I'm taking Atlanta.
All right,
taking Atlanta. Carolina surprise team, 5-4 now after winning at Green Bay last week. New Orleans stinks. Now Carolina shouldn't be favored against anybody, but they are here. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that anymore with them being 5-4. I guess that they are. They can get to 6-4 this week. They will beat the Saints at home. The Saints are awful. They're playing this kid Tyler Shuck at quarterback now. Paulie, they could put you in over Tyler Shuck.
Thank you for the compliment.
You could do a better job than him.
I mean, I got to stretch a little bit, but
Now it's hard to trust Carolina from the gambling standpoint, laying 5.5 points against anyone, as I said. But in terms of winning the football game, Carolina is going to win the football game.
I'll also take Carolina at home as well too.
Look at this. I like you're keeping records here too. I like that you're doing this.
It's the first time we're doing this together, man. This
Jags,
is what it's all about.
Jags into Houston against the Texans. Now the Texans have all kinds of problems. CJ Stroud got hurt last week. They blew the game against Denver. It looks like it'll be Davis Mills again this week. The Jags won a road game in Vegas. The Jags are kind of the second team right there. They're trying to keep pace with the Colts. Maybe they can pick up a game this week. I like the Jags, Paulie.
I like
Jags
them too. I'm a big fan.
Texans have a
Trevor
good D
Lawrence.
at home.
They've got to, they got to keep pace with the Colts here. It's a big game for them. They got to have this game this weekend. And I think everybody's been watching, Trevor Lawrence down here in Jacksonville, and obviously with the new manager this year and things a little different as far as the approach and stuff. And, as a franchise,
Right.
Jaguars as a franchise and a team, and ever since, Lawrence has been drafted here and stuff. I'll ask you a quick.
Sure.
What's your take on Trevor Lawrence as far as, waiting for
Hasn't done enough.
This kid to
Hasn't done
be
enough.
the guy? I mean,
hasn't done enough.
Is it because of surrounding cast, or you feel it's more?
Some would say that he's on his third head coach now.
Yep.
So, I mean, some would say that that's part of the problem. I have not seen the things that you see when he was coming out of Clemson. It was a no doubt about it. He was talked about like it was a Peyton Manning, no doubt about it, coming out and franchise quarterback forever. Now they paid him a lot of money. In my eyes, probably a little earlier than they should have, but I haven't quite seen the stuff that I thought I was going to see from him. I really like this head coach. Liam Cohen's a good offensive mind. Does that mean he's going to be a great head coach? Of course, you never know. I mean, McDaniel in Miami's a great offensive mind. Look what's happened after a few years there. It's a disaster. So
offensive minds aren't always
just because you're a great offensive mind doesn't mean you're going to be a great head coach.
As we know in Giant.
Well, you know that too. But I still believe the Jags are better than the Texans, especially with Davis Mills at quarterback. I think it's an ugly game. I think it's a low-scoring game. If you could pick up what I'm putting down there, I like the Jaguars to win in Houston.
All right, I'm with you too. All right. You want to save this for later? Or
No, Bills at Miami.
Matter of fact, as you say.
Bills are going to win. Bills will win. And this is actually a place, Allen, he beats up Miami, especially down there. I think he's won like 2 or 3 Player of the Week awards play against the Dolphins. Like he always plays well against Miami. Miami, as we know, is going in the other direction right now. So
used to be a storied franchise.
It's Bills. It's a big number. If you're looking at it from that aspect, you're talking 10 points, 9.5, 10 points the Bills are laying. But in terms of Paulie winning the game, the Bills will win, and I think actually they will win handily in this game by 2+ touchdowns. They got to keep pace
with the Patriots, buddy.
You do, and you know what? That'll actually segue me into this because I think the Patriots are going to lose this week in Tampa against the Bucs. Bucs coming off a bye. New England has not played a team as good as the Bucs the last few weeks. They've been winning, but they've been winning against some lesser competition. Now the Bucs, despite coming off the bye, still have some of their better offensive players, not healthy completely yet. But I like the Bucs at home. Short number. I think the Bucs are going to beat the Pats at the Pirate Show.
I'm going with the Pats. Stay hot. Love what's going on up there.
Wow, look at you on the other side.
Behind the ball.
Like this. You're on the other side with all this stuff.
I'm on the other side. Not all of it, but
it's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Go Pats.
Go Pan. You'll never hear me say that one. You'll never be a go Pats out of me whatsoever. Ravens into Minnesota against the Vikings. Vikings, a very surprising win against the Lions last week in Detroit. The Ravens started 1-5. Now they fought back to 3-5. They've got Lamar Jackson back. They need to continue to win. They are the favorites to win this division, Paulie, despite being 3-5.
Mm-hmm.
This is another opportunity for them to get one here. I'm not sold on McCarthy as the Viking quarterback. I'm going Ravens in this one on the road in Minnesota. Get to continue their ascent up and away. Back to 4-5. That'll get them this week.
Man, who'd have thought that the Ravens would be in the state that they're in right now?
Well, look, you got to remember, they played a couple. They lost a wild game to Buffalo week 1. That's a really good team.
They've never recovered.
Lamar got hurt. They were out with him. We were without him for a few weeks. Some games that maybe they would have won if he was there. It's tough when you lose such a huge part of your team. You lose your quarterback. It's hard to get through that, especially when the drop off is so significant to whoever's going to be out there with Lamar. So, but now that he's back, they're going to roll some games off here, and I think that this is another one that they're going to roll off. And maybe I'm just going after the Vikings because of what they did to me last week, because Detroit was my favorite play of the entire weekend.
What did they do to you, man?
Well, I loved the Lions last week against Minnesota, and they went in there and beat them. So maybe I want to go after Minnesota for that reason, but that's what I'm going to do that one.
I'm with you with the Ravens as well.
Late window, 3 games at 4 o'clock. First one, Arizona's going to bench Kyler Murray. They're going to start Jacoby Brissett in Seattle against the Seahawks. The Seahawks, Paulie, believe it or not, they continue to get the job done.
6-2, baby.
6-2. All of the analytics people tell you that they're the best team in the league. All of that. They're DVOA and all these other things. They're through the charts.
How's their net presence?
They have net presence. Ask Sully.
Yeah, Sully.
Let's just ask Sully how the net
How's
presence
their
is.
net presence?
But it's Seahawks for me. With laying, win the game, lay the points. Seahawks at home against the Cardinals.
Well, it would always be whoever's playing the Cardinals because the Cardinals haven't done.
Well, Cardinals won in Dallas on Monday night. It's not,
But I mean, it's just
there's
that's
nothing.
that's just me, just very down.
I think
on
you're being. I think you're being a little. You're being a little unfair. You're being a little unfair. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I am being unfair, and I'm
You're
being
being
mean-spirited
little
about
unfair.
it, right?
You're
And,
being a little unfair.
and I feel bad for the Seattle fans, getting knocked out of the baseball playoffs and stuff.
Okay, so listen, a little sentimental. You're rooting for them for other reasons too. So that's okay.
Go
There's nothing
Hawks.
wrong with that.
All right.
Go Hawks. Rams Niners, huge game in the NFC West. Both teams would be in the playoffs right now. These two teams played about a month ago, Paulie, on a Thursday night game where the Niners were missing everybody and somehow, some way, won the game outright in overtime against the Rams. So a little revenge spot for the Rams, but on the road here at Levi's. Rams, I think Rams are. If I had to pick one team, Paulie,
You think the Rams are going into Frisco to win this game?
yes, I do. I'm probably a little higher on the Rams. Now the Rams are. I think if it's Rams, Eagles, Packers, Lions, there's all those teams that are perceived to be the top teams in the NFC. I would, if I had to pick right now, I'd pick the Rams to represent the NFC at the Super Bowl. Right now,
Really?
yes, I like the Rams a lot. I think they'll win in San Fran on Sunday.
All right, I'm gonna.
What do you think of that?
I'm staying with the Niners. That's going to be a great game.
Staying with the Niners.
It's going to be a great game.
Okay.
It's a huge game. Both
Rams
teams gotta have.
Rams are favored on the road. Rams
I don't
4.5 point road favorite.
I don't care. I think the Niners are feeling good after beating the Giants
Okay.
last week.
So you like the dog here? You're going with a little home dog with the Niners.
Yes, I am.
Home dog for the Niners. Washington's got all kinds of problems. They're not going to have Jaden Daniels for a while. This was a great bounce back spot. Beginning of the season, Paul. They do the win totals. You could bet on the win totals. How many games the team's going to win? I thought Washington was the team to go on the under this year. Going to the NFC title game last year, everyone was going to spend 9 months looking at tape on Jaden Daniels. He's been hurt twice now, so that doesn't help things either. I thought the team that was going to take a couple steps back, and sure enough, they have. Lions off a loss at home to the Vikings. Great spot for Detroit here. I think lost to them in the playoffs too last year. You got a little bit of a revenge spot there. It's Lions. I hope big against Washington on Sunday. I hope big.
Yeah, I agree with you. If the Commanders can do anything, if they come out on the positive side of that game, that'll be just impressive. So I'm with you, going with the Lions, taking that game in
Washington. In Washington. That's a 425. That'll be the national TV game. Most of the country will get that game.
2 games left here, Mike.
Well, Sunday night, Steelers are in LA against the Chargers. I can't figure out the Steelers anymore, Paulie. I can't. Every time that I think the Steelers are going to be, a team that you can back, a team that you can maybe have a little faith in, they really stink the place up. And then when you go after them, like I did last week with the Colts, they show up and get a huge win at home. This is Chargers for me. Chargers are a different team at home than on the road, even though this place is probably going to be 70% Steeler fans in SoFi on Sunday night, because that's always the case with a Charger home game. I think the Chargers are a little bit better than the Steelers, especially when it's in their own building, inside the nice fast track. Maybe this game would be different if it was in Pittsburgh, but in LA, I'm going Chargers on Sunday night.
Yeah, and Chargers have to have this game, especially with
Well, look, you're getting to the time now, with both these teams, they all got to have it. Everyone's got to have these, and the Steelers are going to have the Ravens start breathing down their neck.
Well, when you're 1-2 in the division right now.
Well, right, they want to stay. They want to stay with
Denver.
Denver and stay ahead of the Chiefs as well.
As you brought up yesterday, the season's flying by.
It's flying by.
Now we're getting to, you want home field.
Want it.
You want that bye. You want to do everything you can now to win outright here for the rest of the season. So
gotta have it.
That's a good one. All right, so there's a pretty good game going on Monday night.
Monday night is a great game. Probably the best game of the week. Eagles into Green Bay against the Packers. Really fun game. Of course, they played in the playoffs last year. Packers coming off a loss at home to Carolina. Eagles off a bye. I think you're going to see look, I think the Eagles are better than the Packers. I haven't been the biggest Packer believer so far this year. And the line's a little weird to me. That the Packers are 2.5-point favorites. I feel like the Eagles are better than the Packers, so something smells a little bit to me there. But I think the Eagles are going to beat the Packers on Monday night. Eagles
I'm going to go with the Pack at home just to kind of mix it up.
You just want to go after me is what you want to do.
No, I'm
you
not.
Just want to do,
it's
you're
not
going to go
after
after
you.
me
I mean, look, we're having a couple of games week in and week out here where somebody surprises somebody. And, the Pack at home against, the Eagles who are kind of, reignited here,
right?
After beating the Giants and stuff and coming back. And they know, they're defending champs here. So it's a lot of pride on the line here. It's going to be, you just hope it's going to be a great game. And if the Packers want to make a statement here as far as, it's you'd have to think that maybe, well, I don't know so much on the Green Bay side, but you figure the road to the Super Bowl on the NFC side is in Philadelphia, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So
look,
Green
I
Bay
think
wants
that,
to make a statement here at home. They got to take this game.
I think that when you look at the NFC right now, if you look at the paths, who's going to be the 1 seed, right? Who's going to be the team that's going to have the bye and going to have all the games go through their building? The Eagles right now have other teams in their division that are struggling. Washington struggling, Dallas struggling, the Giants. The Eagles are going to have the opportunity to win their division comfortably down the stretch and add on. Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings, all playing well in that division. That's going to be tough for one of those teams to pull ahead. Rams, Seahawks, Niners, all playing well in that division. Going to be tough for one of those teams to pull ahead. The Eagles have the path to being the top seed in the NFC and making people go through all those places. So that's why, for me, this is a big game for the Eagles. Eagles win this game, they're going to be in great shape moving forward. Carver and Cuthbert here with you. Go Sports Radio, coming to you from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. Beautiful Long Island, Long Beach day.
And we got some folks in here for lunch
a lot
today,
of people
which is
hanging
great.
out, having lunch, which is awesome. Ohio State crew is here too. They get ready for Purdue this week. We will come back, Paulie. Went through NFL Week 10. We've got some pucks to do. We've got a few other things that I know you want to bring up as well. So Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom, Carver, Cuthbert. We'll come back and we'll do a little bit more right after this. Yeah, and we're back. Carver and Cuthbert Ghost Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. Great to have everybody with us. Big crew checking in on the chat and, of course, on the stream, Paulie. Lots of people viewing, so good to have everybody here with us. We're going to do a little pucks. We got a couple of other things heading into the weekend. I did not know in the Ohio State, that's Eddie from Columbus, who's a legend, Paulie. Listen to
the house.
Me with Pharrell. Me and Lisi, he's been listening for a long time.
In the
his
house.
mom, and he's in the house today. So good to have Eddie from Columbus here as well, getting ready for the Buckeyes coming up this week. All right. Huge. You got a list of stuff here. I want to make sure that you get all your stuff in before I give you what's on tap for the weekend and all those things. So I think you have a couple things you wanted to throw my way, because I will tell you, we have got a massive weekend. You talked about St. John's in Alabama already. Isles Rangers for the first time this season, Saturday night at the Garden.
Where the Rangers don't win.
Both have some
good odds for the Isles.
Both have some tough games Friday night before that. Isles are at home, I believe, Minnesota on Friday night. And the
Rangers got the wings.
They're in Detroit, which is a good thing because they only win on the road. So going to Detroit's a good spot for them.
Probably in overtime, too. They'll probably go to overtime as well.
They want to go to Detroit. That's a good thing for them.
They win and they give up a point,
So let's go through a couple things.
Well, first of all, let's real quick on the NHL side. We'll just run through this real quick. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin scoring his 900th goal last night against the St. Louis Blues. And Binnington tried to steal the puck, which I thought was
what was that about?
It's fantastic.
Now that was so
and the
bizarre.
goal was awful.
And Binnington's a little a little loopy, that
so.
guy, Binnington. And he did try to steal the puck. And the other thing was, I thought he was going to score last night. I said this on the betting show on Bet Rivers, because Kenny Albert has to call all of Ovi's big goals. So whenever there's a big goal, Kenny Albert has to call it. The game was on TNT last night. So Kenny gets the call, although when you love this guy too, because he used to come on with us, and he's come on when I was with Borrelli, came on Borrelli. Joe Bennatti is the man also.
Oh, man, you kidding
and
me?
He had a great call, the 900th.
Joey's from New York, man.
He had a great call, the 900th goal last night, too. Joe B down there, who's, of course, the local TV voice of the Caps.
And I'm glad he got to do it,
too. And same thing when he scored against the Islanders at the end of last season for the record-breaking goal. The call by Joe B was incredible.
We've had the pleasure talking
even though everyone plays the Kenny call because it was a nationally televised game. Joe Bennatti.
I got to tell you, I saw the highlight.
Job.
I couldn't even believe Kenny was on the call. I was like,
right.
Doesn't he have a full-time job now with the Rangers?
He's got 10 of them, but he's still Kenny's one of the hardest working guys, because Kenny does NFL on Sundays. He does the Rangers. He does the national TNT. I think he's cut back. I don't think he does the baseball anymore. He does so much.
I think he's serving
he fills it
pizza back
sometimes
here.
on the Knicks. Like if Breen can't do the Knicks, like he does the TV for the Knicks too. Like Kenny does it all. And he does a great job. High school. That's right.
We got to get him for his baseball.
See him on MSG varsity. Sometimes he's got big Calhoun Mepham game coming up. You have Kenny on the call out there for it. So
too much. And I feel bad for Dave Maloney now doing TV with Kenny. No goal scored at the Garden for Dave right now.
You know who else I checked out? Doing LaGreca doing the Devils now is great. It's a great job doing the Devils. Obviously, Rangers radio for
there's another guy who's got wears many hats as well. He's got his own show during the day, and I got to tell you, he's famous, Don LaGreca, for his rants.
Of course.
So,
but he's a great hockey play-by-play guy. He does a great job calling the games.
Real quick on LaGreca, he's been obviously doing. He called. He would fill in a lot for the Rangers on the radio. But Don's also been a big part of the pre and post games for the Rangers over the years.
Yeah.
And we all know him here, obviously, as a staple. And Don's a great hockey guy. He's a big hockey guy. Years ago, he was one of the original guys who used to do NHL Live.
Yep.
Years ago, before the NHL Network really kind of took off.
Yeah.
Became the big production it is right now. And more power to Donnie getting that gig, who is a lifelong Devils fan. And he gets to work with our old buddy,
right?
Ken Danico.
We love Kenny.
Kenny
Danico is the best. We love Kenny, and Kenny and Don do the games, which is
What's
great.
it going to be like when we hit Kenny up and say, we're back together? We got to get him on the show.
He's going to love it.
Kenny used to hang
He's
out
gonna
in
love
the
it.
city.
Now, I don't know if he'll make the trip out to Long Beach. Maybe he can.
Get him on the phone.
But we can have him on right on the stream, and everybody check him out on the
Kenny
stream.
likes to, he likes to get on a road trip and come out. He's done that for us.
He has done that for us in the past. We had a lot of back doing hockey this week. We had a lot of fun nights with Kenny
I
back
tell
in
you
the
what,
day.
during the Winter Olympic break, we'll just have a whole crew of
Well,
NHL analysts. And
Well,
former
I
players
know
down
that
here.
we've talked. We're gonna do something nice, big for the Olympics down here at Borrelli's when it happens. So I'm excited about that when it gets going. What else you got for me?
Just real quick, we touched on it earlier. Habs and the Devils tonight, big game, and the Ducks are playing the Stars tonight.
Lights out. The Ducks. How fun are they?
4 in a row.
I love the orange threads too.
Trouba and Kreider.
Love the orange threads.
Coach Quenville back behind the bench.
They are playing great hockey.
It's good
But
stuff. But you have a butt. Go ahead.
running into a buzzsaw tonight. I love the Stars, and the Stars will beat them tonight.
Good game on tap. And
Yeah.
the reason I wanted to bring that game up too is at the Cowboys game the other day,
Yes.
our buddy and NHL commissioner, Mr. Gary Bettman,
Gary.
loved by all.
Everyone loves Gary.
Loved by all.
Can't get it there.
Stopped down to Texas to announce that the stadium game next year, opponent to be named at a later date, but Dallas Stars are hosting the Stadium Series game outdoors at Texas Stadium.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Now,
Are you going?
no,
No.
I won't be there. But I will tell you, I think that, and Gary obviously is, it's a love-hate thing with Gary for a lot of people. I think that Gary's done a lot of good for hockey in the last 35, 40 years. I really do. I believe that
He's
has.
done a lot of good for the owners, and
He's done a lot of good for the owners.
I'll tell you that much.
I think that the one kind of mistake that they've made the last few years, and I understand why they did it because money's money, Paulie, at the end of the day. I think that when they started playing these outdoor games outside of the Winter Classic, the Winter Classic was a special thing. Once a year, New Year's Day, outdoor game. It was a big moment. Everybody got pumped up for
And
it.
the last good one was the Michigan, the big house one between Wings and
They
Beliefs.
made a mistake playing these Stadium Series games, and because now you're playing 2, 3, sometimes 4 if you can include the Canadian one that they play, the Heritage Classic, outdoor games a year, and it took the luster away from the Winter Classic. The Winter Classic doesn't have as much juice to it because there's all these other Stadium Series games, I think, personally.
Yeah, I think they have. I think it's now one Stadium Series game a year. Or there might be 2.
Maybe,
I don't know if the
you know.
Kansas playing, but look, I've argued about this online too. Look, it really should be called the National Regional League and not so much the National Hockey League. As far
They're playing
or
2
the
games in
reg-
Florida this
the
year.
Regional
Paulie.
Hockey League, not the National Hockey League.
Playing
That's
2
what I
games in
meant to say.
Florida.
That's right. The
Classic
Rangers in
is
Florida.
Rangers Panthers.
That's right.
And Tampa's playing Boston, right, on an outdoor game at the Pirate Ship or wherever they're
Yes.
playing that game.
So those games regionally in the area are going to sell out.
Right.
Nationally, nobody's going to watch them. And the Winter Classic, I mean, years ago, we used to get together. We used to be a big
Oh,
deal.
it's
We'd get
huge.
together, watch it, and now it's just never gonna. And the ratings, the TV ratings for the Winter Classic, and just NHL across the board compared to other major sports. And I won't get into that.
They
now,
just I think it would have been better going back to 1 outdoor game, 2 outdoor games a year. Winter Classic, USA outdoor game, New Year's Day, and Canada should have their own as well. Heritage Classic, whether it's in Calgary, Winnipeg, Montreal, Toronto.
well, it can
wherever
only
you wanna-
be in 7 cities. Right?
I know, but they should still have theirs and play a Calgary versus Edmonton, out in.
Which they've been doing. Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's fine. I'm talking about having all these games in Carolina and Tampa. That was the COVID year. Lake Tahoe. Remember they played the 2 games out in Lake Tahoe
but
that year.
those games regionally do sell out. So I think locally for those,
That's
those
why they're not
fans-
going
now.
anywhere.
I think this
This
game
will too.
in Texas. Well, it's a big ass stadium, man.
It's huge. The opponent, Paulie, is going to be Matt Key
And
in
if
that
it's
game.
the Chicago Blackhawks, I'm out, buddy.
Overkill with the Blackhawks. You've
come
had
on.
too much.
Who are they going to put in there? Somebody from the division?
Well, look,
Or do they got to bring in the Kings or the Rangers?
No. There's only 3 or 4 possibilities. It's Blackhawks, it's Boston, it's the Rangers. They need someone, Paulie, that their fans are going to travel with them to that game because, like you said, it's a big place to fill. They're going to need someone who's going to bring a crowd. That's what they're going to need.
Yeah, it'll be interesting
But you
to
got
see who the opponent is. There's no doubt about
a
it.
year and a half till that
Yeah.
comes up out there at Jerry's World.
All right, last 2
for
things
us.
here on the NHL real quick is the Islanders-Bruins game the other night and the Rangers and the Canes. Now, Nikita Zadorov clapped back at the Islander fans who were flooding his DMs after he roughed up Matthew Schaefer at the game the other night. And this is from Gino Hard on X. And Nikita clapped back saying, "Get out of my DMs and go to the rink to cheer for your team. That place was a library tonight." Now, I looked up the attendance for the Bruins and the Isles on Tuesday night, and it was 15K. 15, almost 16,000 people were in UBS on Tuesday night, which is not too shabby, I would have to say. And the Rangers themselves against the Canes, man, no matter how bad they are at home, 17,
there's always going to be
17,000 people came out to see the Rangers and the Canes.
There is always going to be the Rangers going to be full house every night. It doesn't matter.
Well, I don't want to focus on the Rangers here for this.
This is about the Islanders and UBS. This is about the Islanders and UBS. Look, do I wish that I could get out to UBS more than I do? Yes. I would like to get more of a feel on a more regular basis of how the crowds are there. I can only go by what – it's not a bad number, but you got to remember. You got to remember something. And I'm just going to – things have changed. That place holds 18,000 people. And it's not going to sound like the old place sounded, okay? You used to get 15,000 people in the old place, Paulie. You heard them. Yeah. I mean, this is like the other buildings in the league now where it's open more. I know that they tried to sell you this malarkey that they built the roof in a certain way that it was still going to sound. And have they played enormous playoff games there yet to really test that? No. First round knockout to the Hurricanes a couple years ago. Other than that, there hasn't been a lot of big playoff games at UBS yet. So I think that there's still time to see it. But saying it's a library is probably a little much. I think that that's a little too much saying that. You could hear the crowd. The Islander games are going to be exciting every night. We said this yesterday, especially with Schaefer there. And I'm sure it was loud when the kid took when he took a run at Schaefer, and then everybody started.
Your boy Schaefer on NHL on TNT took a run.
Giving it to the King.
What's up with that?
But how awesome is that? Because we, as an Islander fan, and as Islander fans who are watching and listening,
the Rangers is going to run him on Saturday night. For talking to the King like
come
that.
on, but you got to remember, we just had whatever it was, 8 or 9 years of a gag policy with Lou being in charge, where no one's allowed to talk to anybody and nobody's allowed to do interviews and nobody's allowed to. Now you get the kid out there having fun. I mean, putting him on the national TNT broadcast. Come on. No problems there. No issues whatsoever with that. He's having a little fun. Hank laughed it off.
Oh, man.
He thought it was great.
Disrespectful.
Isles Mini at UBS Friday night. Don't play many Friday night home games. It's a weird spot for the Isles. Going to have a home Friday night crowd. Rangers are in Detroit against the Wings. Saturday night at the Garden. Rangers, will they get their first win at home this season against the Islanders on Saturday night?
No.
I hope you're right.
No, I'm
not a believer.
That's, what do you call that? Reverse psychology thing that I do? Yeah.
Reverse Paulology?
Yeah, there you go. So Islanders all the way on Saturday night. Big game from the Isles.
Yeah.
7 goals.
Reverse Paulology.
Yeah. So huge game. All right. So
that's give us before because we're running out of time and we're having so much fun. We need to do a second. Yeah, give the rest of the Borrelli slate before we go do some things to finish up.
Yeah, you got that.
Because we're here and a great crowd on a Thursday afternoon at Borrelli's Taproom. Really is. We're having a great time here. So tell everybody about the other stuff that's going on.
Things are starting to kick. Again, next week, and again, go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com for all the information, ticket links, and everything else. Great comedians coming in here, and 2 big ones. Colin Quinn's going to be in here next Wednesday on the 19th. Still some tickets available. And then Des Bishop is going to be here on Tuesday, December 2nd. Big pasta making class here on Wednesday, December 10th. These pasta classes, they always sell out. They are a blast. It's awesome. And it's just a great place to come down. So make sure you come down to that. And just to flip back again, a great weekend coming up here at college football. Great drink specials.
How about this? Did you hear about the football specials?
I have heard about them, but I think you have them in front of you, Mike.
$1 wings, any flavor. $1 wings. I'll take 20. $4 Miller Lite drafts. 35. The Surfside buckets are on all of these. The Surf's up with the buckets. You got High Noons too. Montauk drafts. It's all happening here. I gotta get, I gotta have 2-for-1 pizzas. Paulie.
I think we gotta toast the Borrellis right
2-for-1 pizzas. That is incredible.
And all their great specials here.
There you go. I'm in.
Get it in you.
You don't gotta sell me. I'm there, baby.
Yeah, and again next week as well, Billy Joel theme night on Tuesday. Come down, $21 Italian pasta dinner
Bottle of
special.
red,
Are you performing?
bottle of
Good
wine.
stuff. You sound good, Mike.
Yeah.
Half off on all wine bottles for Billy Joel theme night. And again, this Saturday, November 8th, after all the sports, and you know, if you have any energy left here at Borrelli's, they got live music with Sean Jacoby at 7 and Lavish Life at 10 p.m. And it's Tommy's birthday. Tommy from Borrelli's birthday here. So it's going to be a good time here. And again, we'll have more stuff coming up at Borrelli's.
Can I say one other thing?
Of course you can, Mike. It's your show.
Go Sports Radio, Carver and Cuthbert, Wednesdays and Thursdays, noon.
Right
East here too.
Just getting started.
Come by and hang out for lunch.
I'm having fun.
Like,
yes, please join us. We've got people in
like
the
the
house here
Bronx
having
Buckeye Eddie from Columbus did today. So which is a great thing, and I'm very excited that he stopped by. There weren't 15K in that building. Now look at this. Shawnee checks in on the chat box. There weren't 15K in the building versus Boston. Now
Shawnee would know.
He would know. He's there every game. He says there wasn't 15K.
Well, I just want Sean to know. I went to the
I gotta tell you, you've been everywhere. I've seen you sporting events, baseball games, hockey games.
I go.
You've been all over the place.
I go.
Real fan.
I go.
You go. You're at all of them.
But that was the reported attendance.
That was the announced attendance.
So is Shawnee telling me
no chance?
they're rubbing the numbers over there?
No chance. He's probably right. I don't. No shot. There was 15,000 people there Tuesday night.
That's hysterical.
No shot.
Shout out to Shawnee. Shawnee's in there, and Shawnee's part of Hockey Night in New York.
Yes.
And they've
Him and
they
Stapes.
do games here at
They've
Borrelli's
done a
too.
couple shows here at Borrelli's Taproom already.
Check
this
out
year.
Hockey Night in New York on Sunday nights. Good stuff.
I'd like to get out and come to one of them. I gotta effort that. I have to get out here on a
Sunday
I
nights.
wanna-
By 8 o'clock, me and you are usually done.
I say that to Shawnee all the time. Shawnee's asked me to in the past. Sunday night at 8 is like, I'm so finished by Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
All right. I
it
have
is
a
what
quick,
it is.
a quick
Go ahead.
question. We got a couple of things. We're going to wrap up a little bit on MLB free agency that starts today at 5 o'clock. There's talk about there's a little verb here about NBA relocation, maybe the Grizzlies and maybe the Pelicans, and they want a team in Vegas and they want a team.
They're going to
in
have a team in
Seattle,
Vegas.
Okay, I have a question for you and the fans today, and this has happened in other sports. If your team left your city and moved to another city, would you still root for them? Now, you don't have to worry about it because the Bills just built this incredible new stadium, which I want you to take me to because it looks amazing. We got to go.
I'd like to take myself there.
Yeah, we got to make a weekend out of it. But would you still root for your team if they moved to another city? These folks, I've stumped them. has to think about
I
it.
am going to say.
He's thinking about the Bills right now.
Now, listen,
in Utah.
Listen, I am going to say no. I would not.
And that
I would be
means that
upset.
the team's not replaced either.
No. Now, you're not talking about like when the Browns moved to Baltimore and 3 years later they brought the Browns back and Cleveland had a team
You've
again.
lost
You're not
your
talking
team.
about that.
Hartford
They're
Whalers
never
gone.
coming back. Well, if you were one of the handful of hockey fans in Atlanta, you're going to get a third crack at having a hockey team.
And they say they're going back to Arizona too. Good luck.
You're going to get a third crack if you were a hockey fan in the Atlanta area.
The NHL is not a serious league.
No, they're not. I would not root for the team anymore. I thought this was going to happen definitely once in my life. I thought the Islanders were going to move to Kansas City
it's
before
close.
Charles Wong kept them here.
It's close.
So I don't think I would have rooted. I wouldn't have rooted for the Rangers, but I don't think that I would have rooted for them if they left and went to Kansas City. There was talk about the Bills moving to Toronto, and then that's a little bit of their. I don't know if I would root for them
If the
in that
New York
aspect.
Yankees moved out of New York, I would not be able to get up in the morning.
Well, that's it. But you're talking about a team that would never move. So it's.
But I'm just.
I understand what you're saying. I would not be able to do it. Now, you bring up something that I'll just say this real fast. This NBA stuff with Vegas and Seattle is going to happen. They are not going to move a franchise into those cities. They are going to get their enormous expansion fee and get fresh teams in there. Now, Vegas is getting a baseball team. They're getting the A's. While
the
they're building, they've got the Raiders. They are going to make whoever it's going to be, and it will be LeBron who owns the team in Vegas.
Wow.
They're going to wait for LeBron. This is my prediction. I
Okay.
obviously don't know anything here. LeBron is going to retire in a year or 2 years, whatever, and he will be the lead ownership guy of a new NBA team in Vegas, and they will make them pay exorbitant fees to be the expansion team. Seattle will get a team back as well because they've now made that Climate Pledge such an unbelievable arena where the Kraken can play. They'll be able to get basketball in there too, and they will get the Supersonic name back, which I believe they still own. Oklahoma City owns the records.
Gotcha.
Like if you look up the Oklahoma City Thunders, their franchise record stats, like, Gary Payton and Sean Kemp are still on there, but I think that the logo and the name stay in Seattle if they ever got a team back. I think. I'm not 100% sure
I
on that.
believe that's the same thing with the Coyotes too.
It's that is definite with the Coyotes. Arizona Coyotes, names, logos, all their stuff stay if someone actually stupidly brings them back and they have another team there, which it's unfortunate because you know what, Paulie, even as bad as attendance is there are still people that were diehards of the team that live there and were season ticket holders and were there all the time. Unfortunately for them, they were the only ones. and that's unfortunately what happens in those situations. So as far as
there it is. And folks out there, if you have give us your opinion on that. If your team left your city, your state, would you still root for them?
I like this. You did this with me yesterday too with and
I'm going to try and have a big question every week.
We're going to have a big question.
I mean, I had a lot of questions today that you've answered.
I try to answer them as best as I can.
But I'm going to have a big one for you and the fans.
I liked the one yesterday about the championships, and I'm going to retweet that video a couple times because I don't think enough people saw it yet, and I think that they need to chime in on it a little bit more. But this is another good one. If your team left, would you still root for the team?
Because I got to tell you, that whole thing that the Avalanche did and the Hurricanes did last week with the Nordiques and the Whalers jerseys, I mean, that stuff's got to stop, man. Because
the money grab, the disgust,
but if I'm
and the money grab
a Whalers fan
that those people did in those spots, I couldn't believe it. Like, there's obviously the party you flips on, you go, this is so awesome. It's the Hurricanes and the Nordiques. Look at these jerseys. But the underbelly of it is the greed and the filth of these franchises.
Awful. When
the poor people in Hartford and Quebec should still have their teams. I would imagine if they now look. Whalers,
right, man.
Remember the Whalers playing that mall over there?
Went to tons of those games.
Holds about 9,000 people now. I mean, it's just. But you got the Brass Bonanza playing in the back. I mean, it's just such the fabric of it. And
used to take the ferry
and those people
right over there much.
And now they got to watch Carolina twice a year, slap those jerseys on. Meanwhile, they wanted nothing to do with the Hartford Whalers when they moved that team to Carolina. Nothing but money, greed, Paulie. Greed always rules the day.
They look nice. The jerseys look nice, but I mean, the sweaters.
Same thing with the Nordique jerseys. They look awesome.
All right. Last thing we're going to wrap up here today is MLB free agency officially starts today at 5 p.m.
Well, it doesn't.
It
does, but it doesn't.
Well, officially it does.
No one's going to sign. This is where Major League Baseball.
You never know, man.
Again, they screw so many things up. This should be a big deal. It should be a big event. It should be like the NBA on July, whatever it is, 1st. It should be like the NHL on July 1st. It should be like NFL on March the 12th or whenever it is, where the day comes and people are signing all over the place. Bang, deal. MLB free agency opens today. No one will sign for 6 weeks. And they do such a bad job with it. It should be, I don't know.
Most of these guys have the same agent. It's Boris. And, so there's that to deal with.
Sure.
And they got to drag out the interest in baseball,
well,
I guess.
You don't want
hot stove and all that stuff.
The Met fans don't want to have to turn in their polar bear jerseys. They don't want to have to do that.
All right, so Pete, let's just look at some of the big names here. Pete Alonso, Bo Bichette, obviously.
Yeah.
Shane Bieber, Cody Bellinger.
Bieber's staying in Toronto. He opted in.
Okay.
He did opt in. So he had a player option, and he decided to keep it for $16.5 million.
Edwin Diaz.
That spot.
Chris. Yanks might be out there. Josh Naylor, he's going to probably get a job somewhere else. Not so much, but Realmuto, Schwarber, and even Suarez there.
I would.
And Kyle Tucker as well. And now, as a Yankee fan, you let Devin Williams go or what?
Yes. See you later. Now, if I was the Yankees,
take the beard too.
Now, And I hate when they, again, people don't like this. Just leave this here for 1 second. I want to explain. In the old days, get off my lawn type of stuff here. But, and I don't, this is a tired argument. People are tired of hearing it. If George was around, all right, people don't like hearing it, but it has to come up because the son has done such a miserable job owning the team now that it does have to come up until he changes things and wins a championship. In the old days, Paulie, off a season like the Yankees just had, losing to a division rival in the division series, George would have signed Kyle Tucker, Kyle Schwarber, Bo Bichette, and probably Framber Valdez and Michael King. He'd sign 5 guys and spend $700 or $800 million. Hal won't. They'll sign maybe one guy here. The Yankees should have called Kyle
Cashman
Tucker.
says they're going to do what they need to do.
The Yankees should have signed Kyle Tucker yesterday. Okay, they should have signed something. I mean, I have always wanted to see Kyle Schwarber play half his games at Yankee Stadium. How many home runs he could possibly hit
Cody?
if he did that?
Is he going to go?
Well,
I'm going to miss Cody.
I'm actually not. But I think he played well for the Yankees this year. But I'm not. I'm not running to bring him back if I can get a Kyle Tucker.
Look, I think the Yankees have to get all of these guys. Unless you sign
This is their roster. These 27 guys
yes, 27
with
guys.
Judge. Well, you got to put Judge in there too.
Sign them
so
all. Sign
keep
them
Judge, right? Keep Judge and Cole, or do you want to?
No, yeah, got to keep those guys. But just
Okay.
get everybody else.
I'd get rid of. There's plenty of guys I'd get rid of, but it makes MLB free agent. It's like, what's the point? Like it's just they should make it an event. It should make it. It's just like the other 3 sports do it right. When their free agency day is? Almost everybody signs that day. This is nonsense.
It's a weird date.
I'll make you another bet. Half the guys on this list won't be signed by January 1st. Maybe more.
Yeah.
Won't be signed.
Yeah.
2 months from now,
Yeah.
they won't be. Still, half these guys still won't be signed anywhere.
So I think Soto was signed in December last year.
Winter meetings. So the winter meetings are the second week in December, and that's usually where you get a little bit of activity. And that's where MLB tries to make a big thing out of it.
We should go.
But should go. I know they move it around. I think last year was in Nashville. They do move it around a little bit.
MLB Network does a great job at the meetings there.
Paulie, great.
We
First
gotta
couple
go?
days here. Yeah, we gotta
Oh,
go. We
man.
gotta go. It's that time. But
Here's
a great.
to you, buddy.
Here's to you. Look at that.
Here's the
There you go.
Borrellis, and here's
the
to everybody
Borrellis.
else who's watched and listening so far. We appreciate it, and we're excited to be here.
Very excited. Good first couple of days at Borrelli's. We'll be back next Wednesday and Thursday, noon East, and we'll be doing it again. We'll have a lot to chat about. We got a lot of great games this weekend. We mentioned to you. Remember, watch party here for St. John's in Alabama on Saturday afternoon, and then you get Rangers Islanders at night too. So a lot of really cool stuff going on. Thanks for everybody that came down, everybody that's tuning in on the stream, leaving the comments. We appreciate it as well. Good job by you.
You too, brother.
Mike Carver, Paul Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. We will be back with you next week here on the stream.
Have a great sports weekend. Take care, everybody.